This is Two Skis Walk Into a R. I'm Ray.
And I'm Brian.
And this little R vignette is about how you download a spreadsheet and get it into R so that you can start working with it in R. Mm-hmm. And the main thing we do in Ecology Lab is work with Google Sheets, so that's mainly what we're going to focus on. We have this this little example data sheet that we created in a different vignette, and now I want to get this onto my computer, and then once it's on my computer, get it into R. So let's see. The first thing to do is to click File, and you can download this as, and they give you all kinds of different options. Mm-hmm. And there's actually, Brian, there's a million different ways to do this that could conceivably work. We're going to show you one that we kind of consistently do in Ecology Lab. Is that fair?
Because I think your intuition would be, I'm going to choose Microsoft Excel because that's what everybody thinks about as spreadsheets. Mm-hmm. But along with Microsoft Excel comes a whole bunch of baggage that we just don't want to deal with.
Right.
So the file format which we are going to always use in R is going to be what we call a comma-separated value file.
Yep.
It's called
.csv.
.csv.
Cool. So let's get that CSV. And like I said, you could do this a million different ways, but we're just going to do it that way. Okay. So now Google has put that on my machine, and I need to go to my Finder and I guess go to my downloads and move that thing to, I'm going to put it to the desktop, I guess. Okay, and then go to my desktop. All right, so that thing exists there. Now, should I go to R and get it in there?
I think we should just bring it right into R because it's just that simple.
R. Okay, cool. Oh, I got this garbage up here. Whoops. Go away. Okay, and I'm going to hit Control L to clear that out. Okay. And I'm going to click Broom to get this all gone. Okay, so starting with the...
So you're keeping your desktop nice and organized in your R Studio.
Right? Yeah, yes. I like to keep it nice and clean. Okay, so the main command to find the file that you just put there is file.choose parentheses, and this works for Macs and PCs. Mm-hmm.
And make sure that you don't forget the parentheses. It is very important.
Yeah, the parentheses are super important. And also, I always do this one in the console because once I enter my file path, I'll never, until I move it. So this is the file that I want to bring in, right? So I click on that, and what does R do? Something wonderful. It shows me the complete path in my computer. These are like little folders, right? And so this is where the file is sitting as far as my computer is concerned. So now I can copy every part of this, including the quotes.
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest mistakes students make is that they don't include the quotes.
You
must include the quotes.
Gotta include the quotes. Okay, and then I'm up here in my what's the word for it? Script, thank you. And I'm going to call this probably something more informative than my data, but that's what we'll call it right now. And the command for bringing this in is read.csv parentheses, and inside the parentheses, I paste the file path that I just copied. Mm-hmm. Nice. And like I said, there's a million other ways to do this, but this is just the way we're doing it for this class. There's just so many ways. So if I hit run, then look at that. I have my data in there. I can look at it. And that's what we did. That's what we got in there. So that's cool. Mm-hmm. And now I've got an object, a data frame object, and you can look at all the other vignettes about data frame objects and go from there.
And then we can explore our data. We can do our statistics and everything else that we need to do for this class.
Yep.
So this biggest first step is to take that class data set and import it into your own R Studio. Okay,
we got two other quick things that you may want to listen to. One, we're going to talk about making a CSV file from Excel. And then secondly, for Mac users, I have a quick note about downloading files from Sakai that you should check out at the very end of this vignette. Okay, so suppose I go back over to this little example data sheet, and I copy all of this stuff, and I'm going to go to Excel, and I'm going to paste it. Okay, so then I've got the same data in here, and suppose I want to save this as a CSV file. Excel gets kind of goofy about this, Brian.
Yeah, Excel does not want you to use the CSV format very easily.
No, it makes it really challenging and confusing.
So you're going to end up forcing it, and it's going to go through a series of pop-up windows. Do not let that deter you, because you do want to save this as a CSV file.
Okay, so save as, I'm going to put this on the desktop as well. Okay, this is our example. And also I'm going to put garbage because that's my personal clue that I can get rid of that file down the road. And here's the format. Normally you would save an Excel file as an Excel file and all is well and good, but if you want to force it to save as a comma-separated values, you select that. It changed the, whatever you call that, the
file
extension,
type.
the file type, and I'm going to click Save. Okay, it says this workbook contains features that will not work or may be removed if you save it in the selected file format. Do you want to continue?
You always want to continue.
Yeah, you do. It's if you had formulas and stuff like that, you'd lose them, and so it's giving you a fair warning. But we don't care about formulas in this context, so I'm going to click Continue. Okay, great. Now I saved it as a CSV file. If I go to my desktop, I should see it there. Yep, there it is. CSV file. It exists. It's real. But now watch when I close this. Oh, do you want to save the changes you made to this? I didn't make any changes right now. This is, again, Excel freaking out because I didn't save it as an Excel file type.
It wants you to use that proprietary Excel file type.
So it's weird if I say don't save, all's going to be well in the world because this thing that I just proved to you still exists. Okay, so there's that. And then the last thing I wanted to point out is for Mac users, sometimes you will have in Sakai a data sheet that I ask you or Brian or someone else asks you to download. And I just want to point out that if you control click, so you get the menu, you can download linked file or you can download linked file as. This will put it in your downloads folder. This will put it wherever you choose it to go. And you would think that these would be equivalent. But under some Mac operating systems and under some conditions that I cannot fully articulate because it's kind of a mystery to me.
I don't know.
One of these will download a file that is well formatted and will work well in R, and the other one won't. And I can't remember what situations one works and the other one doesn't. So, long story short, try one of them. If you can get it into R and everything looks fine, great. If you can't, try the other one.
Good advice.
Super weird. Okay, great.